Hey guys, it's Purple Duelist 100 coming at you with another video. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please go smash that like button and please go subscribe so you can get up-to-date updates whenever I drop a video. So today we'll be talking about old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards versus the newer school cards today, and which should you buy and which should you invest in, or which should you just keep around. So that's a question that kind of varies depending on person to person. If you're a new player just getting into the game and that's all you care about is playing updated cards, the new school cards are for you. A lot of the older cards get republished out, or a new edition, a new card comes out, and then you can just add it in and get the nostalgic feel for the game. So newer players can still use older cards, but for those players that like to just collect cards and keep them long term, because they can gain value depending on the popularity of the card and just how important it was to the actual anime and the show, then that's another route to do too. And then there are some players that just do both, like the old cards and the new cards. Some people will buy a card just because they like the way it looks, and that's perfectly fine. There is no right way to go, it just depends on what your preference is. So today's Yu-Gi-Oh cards, let's see, modern cards you could say, that plays in the meta game, typically not that expensive. You can find most cards between $1 to $10. $10 really been kind of high, except for very popular play cards like an Infinite Impermanence, or what is it, the new Moonlight Chill Ghost Girl. Those cards kind of get up a price because they're just hard to get now because everybody's playing them, and the rarity that they come in is it's very expensive, let's just say that, for a newer card. Over time, those prices should level out to normal, or if more reprints come out, then they'll be cheaper, just like the Eldritch card that came out in the new Maximum Gold Rare Box. Find a cheap version of that card for about $10 to $14, even less than that if you know where to look. But as far as older cards go, normally the poster child for an older card would be the Legend of Blue Eyes, or LOB, MRD, and LON, Labyrinth of Nightmare. Those are I guess you say the reference boxes, reference sets, if you're talking about anything old school cards. Those are the ones you kind of look at. Even in my playmat right now has some examples. LON, Fire Princess, LOD, Yamada Dragon, MRD, Suijin, Kazijin, even some the movie pack Blue Eye Shining Dragon, and BBT is also an older set that came out with like 5 or 6 different 10s. And then of course you have BBT Blue Eyes, and not necessarily an older card, but just a card I like is the Silver Calcos. So of course from the Game Boy games. So these are examples of like some of the older cards in the game that are relatively still affordable, that have skyrocketed out of control prices, that you can collect for people that are collecting cards. The LOB Blue Eyes White Dragon, of course, is the standard. Then there's the DDS Blue Eyes White Dragon, then the SDK, and then you have Dark Magician and Red Eyes and so forth. After that, those cards are the ones that really draw maximum dollars if you have them in good condition. So we're gonna talk about how that plays out to players that want to collect cards, or tips that if you were looking for older cards and don't want to pay a high price for them. Some tips that I use. It's not foolproof, but it can work if you're really diligent and determined and know your stuff and really pay attention. So if you're looking for like older cards that are good value and you don't want to use TCG Player, eBay, or even Amazon if they have the card, typically what I've seen some people do, even I do sometimes, is I'll just go on Facebook Marketplace or Mercari or OfferUp or just side websites that buy it off of people that are just looking to get rid of their cars and not even look for a big profit just to get them out their hair. And sometimes in those bundles you can find a rare car that you can possibly resell or keep for the long run. There's this video of this guy that he bought a Goodwill box, spent like $100 on a random assortment of old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but he looked through the pictures and paid attention, and what wound up being in the box was 2 DDS Blue Eyes White Dragons in good condition, a DDS Dark Magician, starter deck Kaiba, SDK first edition Blue Eyes, and what is it? I believe a Morphing Jar, and then the ultimate rare Crush Card Virus. So he paid $100 for it. The rest of the cards were pretty good. Some of them were damaged, some of them were played. You know, when we were kids, we really didn't take good care of our cards. But the ones that he did find made up for the value of the whole entire box with just those 3 cards. So just looking like secondary markets or places that most people wouldn't think to look, probably is another avenue if you're looking to buy older cards. It's not foolproof. There's a chance that the card is there, but it could be damaged, or it's not up to par with like a regular website. And that's where the due diligence comes in, where you just have to really ask for pictures, detailed pictures, ask questions if you can, and really pay attention to the details and the specs of the card. That will really help. If you do that, you pretty much will be in good shape. Know what to look for: corners, of course, creases. Make sure it's the actual lot number, the set number that's over here in the corner. An example right here is the LON Marie the Fallen. They may have the new Dark Lord Marie, but may list it as Marie the Fallen. So you just want to make sure and pay attention to that. Sometimes, even on eBay, they'll have LOB Blue Eyes White Dragon. It'll say first edition, but if you click on the pictures, it's a unlimited LOB card, which is still okay. But you know, they have reprints, so just pay attention to those kind of things. But going back to the new cards of today, if you're looking to make a good bang for your buck, TCG Player, eBay, Amazon, all of those sites are pretty much good, and they're verified. You can get good mint cards for relatively cheap prices if you're trying to build a deck to compete with, or just, you know, casually play around. You want to have nice looking cards. You don't want old beat up cards. So those are okay. In terms of financial value, though, older cards are the way to go, especially iconic older cards. Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, Red Eyes, Black Dragon. Can't go wrong with those cards at all. They can only stand the game value. They do dip, it's only a temporary dip. Those are the cards you want to, if you're trying to make money, or not make money, but if you're keeping them in the long haul and you want to sell them at a higher price, older cards are the way to go. And also just getting any card graded will also increase the value too. So with that being said, just pay attention, find what you can, and sell them. Typically in the market, older cards are expensive because there's not many of them around from those years, because PSA didn't exist back then, and also we were kids when the game came out, most of us, so you weren't really thinking about taking care of any cards. So if I know, I went to school, put a rubber band around my deck of cards, put it in my pocket at lunchtime, doodle everybody. Use my Chaos Emperor Dragon, I wish I would have kept, or the GBI Egyptian Guard cards. I wish I would have known then what I knew now. I probably would have taken better care of them. But that's why the older cards do so much more, or has much more impact than the newer cards today, because nobody was taking care of them unless you were like a card shop owner and you were an adult that had the wherewithal to know, hey, maybe I should put some sets aside because one day, you know, these could And if they don't, well, at least I have them. So that was I guess that process. So that's why older cards are worth a lot more. Newer cards, while rare, it's going to be harder now because PSA came out as a company. I believe it was a 2006, 2007, not completely sure. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But with newer cards, everybody is aware now of the card prices and values. You have to think back in 2001, 2002, 2003, they just came out. So there was nothing older, brand new. Now there's a market, and now everybody's taking care of their cards. You have to factor that in too. Newer cards, people are gonna put them in a sleeve, send them to get graded to PSA, hold on to them, and that actually hurts the value of newer cards later down the road because everybody is doing the same thing. So it's no rarity, it's no singularity or scarceness of cards because everybody's saving them in good condition. You know, even with some cards, you know, they may be available but found in a mint condition. Watching my video. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And also, have a good rest of the day, guys. This is Pro Bowl Duelist, and I am going to the locker room.